Hey you guys. So I am a little nervous to share this story just because I don't share it that often because it's hard to share because it was so painful. So here we go. So 2 years ago, I had like the worst summer of my life. Sorry. So my husband and I were running a business, and it was doing well, but we had to pay taxes, and we ended up kind of getting a sucker punch and having to pay $15,000 in taxes, and it really just rocked our world. Like, in a bad way, like we couldn't. It wiped out all our savings, and my husband, he knew he needed to get a second job to make ends meet because we couldn't pay for groceries. Our church had to help us pay for groceries, and it was not even the good kind of groceries. It was the sucky kind of groceries. It was mac and cheese and hot dogs, and it was so humbling and so hard, and we fought a lot. And this is why I don't share it, because I ugly cry when I do. Anyways, so he got a job. My husband has a law degree, and he is so humble. He got a job delivering pizzas, and so we didn't see him very often because he was gone at night delivering pizzas. In fact, on the 4th of July, it sucked because he was out delivering pizzas instead of being with us. And I remember laying on a mattress. We were trying to be so tight, we couldn't even afford to pay for groceries for our kids. Or we couldn't pay for groceries, but shoes for our kids. I remember my son telling me that he needed new shoes because there were like holes in them, and we couldn't afford to pay for those shoes. And it was heart-wrenching to tell him, no, I can't afford to pay for that. And people say like money doesn't buy happiness, but I'm telling you that when you can't afford, that money does matter, and money does make things really hard when you don't have it. And so it was like the worst summer of my life. And I remember we put our air mattress downstairs so that we wouldn't use a lot of air conditioning. So my husband and I were sleeping on an air mattress downstairs. And I just remember laying in bed one night just wanting to die. I was contemplating suicide because I hated my life. I hated not being able to feed my kids healthy food, or myself. I hated not being able to afford what we needed. I hated that my husband was gone all the freaking time delivering pizzas, and I was hustling, trying to run my other businesses, trying to make ends meet, and it sucked. And I remember we had to cancel some of our vacations, and texting some of my friends saying, hey, we can't go on this vacation, and they didn't understand why. And I couldn't share. I tried to explain that, things were really tough and we couldn't afford it, but they just didn't understand how bad it was. And there was one day when I went to the grocery store with $16 in my hand, and it was like awful. It was awful. I was trying to get some groceries for my kids. It was back to school, trying to get some groceries for my kids' lunch. Just some extra ones that the church hadn't provided, and I had $16, and my 2-year-old was like bawling his head off, like, because that's what kids do when they go to the grocery store. And I was trying to juggle that $16 budget, and I remember like having to put some things back. And anyway, it was so hard, you guys. And so I had my coach invited me to check out the coaching opportunity in a sneak peek just like this one. And I told my husband, you should check this out, hun. You love fitness. That's your thing. And maybe this can be a better second job than delivering pizzas. So he looked into it, and we realized that you can make good money being a Beachbody coach. And it was shocking to me. Like, my coach was making 6 figures, and I was like, this is crazy. But I saw that it was an opportunity, and I also saw that it was something that would force me to work out, because I needed that, because I was depressed. I was super depressed because of our situation, and I knew, you know, I'd always worked out in the past. I knew that if I worked out, that it would give me that that accountability, because I used to teach aerobics at my church in Kansas just for fun. I wasn't good at it or anything, but just to get my butt out of bed and get me working out and just stay sane. And so I knew this would be the same way. I knew that if I became a coach, I would be forced to work out, which would give me the endorphins I need to be a happier person. And I needed that because our situation sucked. So I told my husband, so my husband decided to sign up as a coach. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to sign up. Like, that's not my thing. I like cookies. I've got 4 kids. I am too busy to be a coach. I knew that I ran, you know, another business. So I just felt like I don't have time to be a coach. But what happened was he signed up, and then I signed up under him to get him to Emerald rank, and I bought a challenge pack. And I posted on Instagram and Facebook how I was going to start working out, because again, I knew I needed to do that. I knew that was something that would make me a happier person. So I posted that on Instagram and Facebook, and all these people were like, what are you doing? What is this? And I realized, like, hey, other people want to join me on my journey. And I was overweight. I wasn't at my goal weight. But that's when I realized, like, hey, you know, I could do this, and I could actually make money doing it, and I would get that forced accountability that I needed. And I always say, like, I work out for sanity, not vanity. So I started a challenge group, which is like an online fitness group or whatever. And yeah, and Joelle, now you're making me cry. And I have loved it ever since. I quit my photography job. I sold my other business, and I'm so much happier because of it. Like, it has been a huge burden lifted off me. And my first month, I made $400. My second month, I made $900. My third month, I made $1,200 because I hustled so that our kids could have shoes and we could have groceries. And, anyways, and I am so much happier because I work out and I'm taking care of me too. So I have worked out every day for every day, 5 days a week for the past 2 years, which is how long I've been a coach. And I have worked every 5 days a week for 4 hours a day, about 3 to 4 hours a day. And now I am making $50,000 a year, and I'm making more than my husband is at his current job. He actually didn't end up coaching, and I kind of took over. And so that's our story. And eventually I want to make enough money so that he can come home, because we did enjoy it when we worked together at home, and he can have that flexibility, and he can go to my kids' school events and have that freedom to do as he chooses and start his own business. And anyway, there's so many blessings that have come from this, and I'm so grateful I found this opportunity. So if any of you are looking for something to help you make some extra money, or just that extra accountability to work out, I would say give it a try. Because I honestly, like I said, I was like, this is not for me. I'm too busy. I don't have time for that crap. And then I did it, and I loved it. And I've been loving it ever since. And I'm going to be here. I'm in it for the long haul. This is part of my 10-year plan. So anyways, it's been such a blessing for me, and so grateful that I've been able to meet so many fabulous people because of it and help so many people change their lives. It's such meaningful work. You know, photography was awesome, but I feel like I'm changing lives. When someone loses weight, when someone changes their body, it changes their life. And when someone changes their finances, like mine, like the way I was able to change mine, it changes their life. So it's really amazing to be able to bless others in this way. So anyways, it's really blessed me. I hope it will bless you. So thanks for watching. Bye.